Live only on DAZN, he silenced Britain's best. Usyk, the Brit breaker, but now the dynamite is ready to explode. One night, one shot at Undisputed. Usyk versus Dubois 2. July 19th. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
I know, but listen. All right, so we have 4 months to prepare for the fight. During our preparation, right, we need to be signed up in VADA.
My son's gonna be signed up. He said he'll be ready August 1st, like he told you.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that's not no, that's not. We're not
Then
doing that.
then
The
they go. You
offer,
go
okay.
tell church. So
Listen,
go
so you will
tell.
know.
So
So
go
you will
tell the
know.
uppers.
Okay. So you giving me the answer that you guys aren't signing up now.
Go tell Turkey that since Brian Norman won't sign up on July I don't even know what the day is. Since Brian Norman won't sign up to on whatever the day is, I want you to go ahead and tell Turkey. Say, listen, they want to start August the 1st, even though y'all paying for 8 weeks. We want them to do extra testing. They refusing to go by out what we say. Go tell Turkey that you pulling out of the fight. Just
Listen,
go tell them.
listen. Hey, listen. It's no problem. I have no problem
All right.
articulating. I heard what you said, and then we just go from there.
All right. You're afraid. I mean, everybody said you was gonna find a reason to pull out the fight.
Damn. Damn, Bill. Bill Haney he turned off the camera. He's like, I'm about to tell right now. I'm about to go tell Uncle Turkey right now.
All right. You're afraid. I mean, everybody said you was gonna find a reason to pull out the fight.
But okay, listen, you guys been atting me everywhere about this conversation on the Boxing Voice. Love you, boys. Between Brian Norman Sr. and Bill Haney. And the question is the fight now in jeopardy? I think it could be. I think the fight was always kind of in jeopardy. It was an incredible thing to agree to for the Haney's first fight at welterweight to be against Brian Norman Jr. after his knockout of the year, Mr. 6 Weeks versus Sasaki in Japan. And him being a champion, not even getting a tune-up at welterweight, which would be expected, just jumping up. But, you know, fighters are doing crazy shit now. I mean, it's on and popping. And plus, Devin Haney never turned down anything but his collar. Okay, so it was already a strange thing. But I think because of that, you kind of feel it was always kind of in jeopardy. I mean, it was hard to believe, you know. So is it in jeopardy now? It seems like it. It appears to be. But I want to say this. How do I feel about it? Just to break it all down. I want to say Brian Norman, the Normans deciding to not do VADA testing now and to do the VADA testing and do everything within the confines of the contract in which they signed. I think them doing that is an admission of guilt, right? I don't think it's do what Bill Haney suggests or else you're guilty of PED usage and stuff. I don't think that's the case, okay? And I don't think anyone should think of it that way. I want to say this, though. Bill Haney being for 365 testing, year-round testing, I think is a noble idea. I think that's good. I think Iman Katayev popped dirty when he did, because he actually popped when he was out of fighting, right? He didn't have a fight scheduled or anything like that. It was just a random test and he popped, okay? I think it's a noble idea. But I also think this fight doesn't have that. So Bill Haney is trying to employ a power move. Do what I say outside of what we agreed to. And I don't think anyone, if they're about to fight, if that's going to be your op, I don't think you should make them dictate anything for you or your camp.
Tell Turkey. Say, listen, they want to start August the 1st, even though y'all paying for 8 weeks. We want them to do extra testing. They refusing to go by out what we say. Go tell Turkey that you pulling out of the fight. Just
Listen,
go tell them.
listen.
So I agree with Brian Norman Sr. Don't Bill Haney having his ideas outside of the confines of the contract and trying to do some kind of social bullying into making people feel, well, if you don't do what I say with this VADA testing, if you have nothing to hide, then that's an admission of guilt. I think that is a false narrative. And I think the Normans should do what they signed up for, and anything outside of that being dictated by the opposition. Hey, do this. Start doing this now. You ain't gonna tell me to do shit. You ain't gonna tell me, because right now you're my op. You ain't gonna tell my training camp how to move. And you, because if you do that, you start being able to dictate other things, all the way down to being able to dictate how the fight goes in the ring between the Haneys and the Normans. You're trying to win every little battle. That's why when people say, hey, the press conference mean nothing, ShowBizz, the weigh-ins mean nothing, the face-offs mean nothing. Everything means something. That's your op. You're trying to get as many victories and leading up to it, mental games and emotional leverages as you possibly can. So I think ultimately the idea of 365 testing, year-round testing, is a noble one that I can get behind. And I told Bill Haney, I get a PED petition, Bill. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I got a petition for you, Bill. I got a PED petition for you. I meant it. But also, I agree with the Normans that since this fight, I'm going to work within the confines of the contract, and you're not going to dictate shit. Now, after that, going beyond that, is this fight in jeopardy? Brian said, "Hey, go tell."
Then
The
they go, you
offer,
go
okay.
tell Turkey. So
Listen,
go
so you
tell.
know,
So
so
go
you
tell the
know, so
uppers.
okay.
Go tell Turkey that you pulling out of the fight. Because everybody said you was gonna find a reason to pull out the fight.
Go tell Turkey. Because if y'all want something to change, then you're going to have to restructure the contract. And that is a move away from the fight happening. Get what I'm saying? That's an extra move now, because we have the fight we have the date, we have everything. Tell them to restructure the contract. And in doing so, now you just took a step away from it being sealed. And he's gambling on the fact that I don't think Turkey Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, would say, 8 weeks, it's a normal thing. And if you pop within those 8 weeks, then yeah, you're dirty, all right? And then the fight's off because you now have breached the contract. So if Bill Haney tries to renegotiate the contract, I can see why the fight would be in jeopardy. And now that's moves from the Haneys to push to say, okay, now we want this to be this. And since it's not, I don't feel that my fighter is safe. And now we're not going to do it. And then you can try to get a social victory. And, that right there is trying to play mind games and trick everybody. But I think everyone sees it coming. I think if the Haneys don't want the fight, if they don't trust the Normans, then they should do it now, okay, and not waste anybody's time or anybody money, all right? But I think if they're toying with it, I think they need to make a decision sooner than later. But I think if it's mental games right now, that's dope. I think Bill Haney's doing his job. If it's a mental game right now, I think he's doing his job, but I don't think it's working because I think that makes the Normans feel that they're scared. You already got the security overreacting when they were face to face, and then Brian Norman Jr. flipping him to the ground. And, you have them feeling rugged. You even have Brian Norman Jr. saying, hey, a lot of these fighters are worried about how they look and how they dress and their fashion. I'm worried about fighting. So he's feeling more gritty. And then with Bill Haney saying to Brian Norman, like, hey, you're not going to do what I say? And Brian Norman saying, like, nah, man, go ahead. I knew you were going to pull out the fight. They feeling like the Haneys are soft and suckers. You get what I'm saying? So I think this only makes them feel stronger about that. But we'll see what happens. I'd love to know what you all think in the comments below. ShowBizz for Adult. I'm out. Huh.